Okay, we're good to go. So good morning, everybody. My name is Katie Farner. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Katie Farner, and I am the Superstar Director of the Sunshine State Superstars. I'm just going to give myself a little intro since I'm going first. All the other leaders are going to introduce who's next after them. So today, you are joining myself and several of my best friends in Scentsy and in life, right? Because we all become so close as we do this journey together. Um, and what's super cool is we all like grew up together to Superstar Director. I remember when we were all directors and um, we called ourselves the next generation of directors. Like we knew that our group of friends, we were all going to be that next upcoming generation of superstar directors. And that is what we see when we look at all of you guys. You are the next generation. You are the future. And so we love this opportunity to come together as our friendship unit and pour into you and help you guys as you're pursuing that next journey, that next step of your business. Because y'all know if you're a director, that ain't where you want to stop. That is one part of your journey. And there are so many more wonderful experiences and so much more growth ahead for you. And we're excited to help you experience that. So again, I'm Katie, and I'm Superstar Director of the Sunshine State Superstars. We are about, let's see, we are a little over 1,800 strong. And I have been selling Scentsy for 10 years. I think I might be the oldest in here, I think. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I joined in May of 2010. I think I might be the oldest leader um, on the call. I don't know, maybe Jen has been around longer than me. I can't remember. But anyway, I think I might be the oldest. Maybe April's been around longer than me. But this has been literally the best 10 years of my life. And I always say that what I love about what we do is that we get to do work we love while creating a life we love. Or we get to create a life we love while doing work we love. Either way you want to look at it. And that really is what I think is the most beautiful thing about this business. And we get to help others do the same thing. So today we are going to talk about how to really just dig in this time when we are experiencing incredible momentum. Yesterday we were on our Superstar Director call, and on that call they literally used the word multiple times, hyper growth. We are in a season of hyper growth. This is something, what we are experiencing is really unprecedented. And what we are on the cusp of, the boom that we are on the cusp of is just insane. I mean, can y'all feel it? Like, there are huge, huge things coming. It literally, I'm not joking, it literally gives me goosebumps just talking about it. What we are about to see happen in this business, the leaders that we are about to see emerging and created. Not only are we experiencing hyper growth in our sales, but also in our recruiting. All of it is up. These are all signs that we are positioned to really make huge things happen in our business over these next several months. And so we need to make sure that as leaders, we are prepared and we are seizing this momentum. The last thing that I want for any of y'all is for you to say, man, I wish I would have taken better advantage of the opportunities that I had during that season. I wish I would have been more engaged. I wish I would have been more plugged in, because I know myself. There's many times in my business that I've thought, man, I wish I got started when Becca Levi got started. Man, I wish I would have got started when Jen Audette got started. People are going to say later, they wish they would have been a consultant now. People are going to say that about this time. So what are you doing with this opportunity? Because you are absolutely wasting it if you are putting this business on the back burner right now. This is your time to rise up and make big things happen for yourself and for your family. Who hears me on that one? Y'all, it's for real. Since you shared with us yesterday, I'm pretty sure I can share this. I don't think it's like, they didn't say NDA. I don't think it's a big deal that we can't share this. And I'm sure they've already shared it, in fact, I think. But we know that last month was our best month ever, right? In history, in the history of the company, May of 2020 is the best month ever at $78.5 million in sales, 78.5 million. And we are on pace to do better this month than last. That right there should just make you like want to jump out of your pants with excitement, like, holy cow, like amazing. Not to mention, I didn't write down any of the data about recruiting. So if any of y'all that were on the call have that handy, feel free to unmute and share it. But recruiting is up by a lot as well. So just excellent, all excellent things. So how do you, as a leader, seize this momentum and really run with this momentum? That's what we're going to talk to y'all about today. I'm going to kick things off by talking about coaching calls. Use the chat, or you can, raise your hand. I know there's an option to raise your hand, or you can like physically raise your hand if you're on camera. Either one is cool with me. I want to talk to y'all about coaching calls. Who is actively, consistently doing coaching calls with their team? Raise your hands if you are. And it's cool if you're not. You got to be honest. You got to be real. All right, I see a few hands. Use the chat box too if you want. And I see a few hands. Okay. We're gonna be real with y'all today, okay? So don't get upset. Don't get your feelings hurt, because we are here to make you better. We are here to make all of us better leaders, okay? So I'm just gonna be real and raw with you. So don't hate me for this, but I'm gonna tell you, you have to start. You have to start. It's not a good idea for some people. Oh, I did coaching calls and it didn't work for me. Well, then you need to change the way you do it. We cannot tell our downline, oh, that party style doesn't work for you. Okay, that's cool. You can give it up. We can't tell our downline that, right? Like, we wouldn't encourage them to just give it up because they tried it and it didn't work for them. We would encourage them to try it a different way. So why do we allow the same excuse for ourselves about anything in our business, especially coaching calls? I look to the most successful people in the industry, in Scentsy specifically, and what are they doing? Okay, I look at people like Chloe Cox. What's Chloe doing? Okay, Chloe's doing coaching calls. It is not a maybe, it's not a question. It is a huge part of her business. And that girl has more directors than anybody else I know. She is creating powerful teams. She is helping other leaders in her organization create powerful businesses that are going to be sustainable, that are going to be businesses that they can hand down to their children one day. That's what's possible with Scentsy. Do you realize that? Do you get that? Because that's what you have here. This is not a splash in the pan thing. This is a legitimate business that you're going to have for years and years and years to come if you do it right. And building leaders is how you do it right. Coaching calls is a critical part of that. So all of us superstar directors that are doing this Zoom are doing coaching calls. We don't tell y'all to do something that we're not doing. We don't tell y'all to do something that we're going to say, yeah, that's a good idea in theory, but we're not actually doing it ourselves. No, we're doing coaching calls. We're making it happen. So for me, coaching calls are something that I have recently changed. I had been offering them to everybody in my team, lead consultant and above, on a consistent basis. Every month, I just sent out an email with my schedule. I use Calendly to actually schedule all of those. I just plug in my schedule. It's free. I can send them the link. They pick their date and time that they want, and it's all said and done. However, I realized that it was not working. And recently, Chloe speaking of Chloe, she shared an amazing series, which if you have not watched it, you need to watch it. It's on YouTube. It's called Coach the Coach. And it is literally, I texted her immediately after watching that and I said, you are the best thing that has ever happened to Scentsy. Just saying. Thank you for sharing that. But Coach the Coach is an amazing series. And now that is how I am offering my coaching calls. That is what I am doing now. I am following her recipe. And if you haven't watched those videos, please do. And I would encourage you to try that. If you have done coaching calls in the past and you felt like, well, I gave it up because it wasn't working, let that go. Try something new and start it now. Don't start it in 2 months. Don't drag your feet. Get it going now. Seize this momentum by getting coaching calls going. And the last thing I want to share with you guys, I should have shared this earlier, but I got all caught up in my excitement about our growth. We have actually come together and all shared our year-to-date earnings. We wanted to share this with you guys because we felt like this is important for you to know. We are not coming on here as unsuccessful people telling y'all this is how we think you should do things. We are coming on here as women who have built and are continuing to work to build successful businesses. So every single one of us have shared our year-to-date earnings. And I'm going to hit you with those numbers. And you can check your own year-to-date earnings under your account in your workstation, if you did not already know that. So cumulatively, we have, all of us superstar directors running this call have been paid $394,000 cumulatively. That's how much we've earned so far this year. All of us superstar directors running this call have earned $394,000 cumulatively. Here's our individual breakdowns of our year-to-date earnings. $39,369, $25,000, $43,000, $89,868, $48,828, $83,709, $63,470. I literally have goosebumps as I'm reading those numbers to y'all. Do you get goosebumps when you hear those numbers? I literally, I'm not joking. I don't know if you can see them, but I have goosebumps on my arms because I want y'all to understand we're not reading these numbers to you to just be like, ooh, look at us. We're reading these numbers to you because money talks. And I want you to hear the kind of money that we're talking about. And this is just the cusp. I was talking the other day via text with one of my superstar directors that I really look up to. And she asked me about my commission and I told her mine and I asked her hers. Her commission just for that month alone was $53,000. $53,000 for 1 month. That's almost what I made so far this whole year. So like what we are talking about here is, and maybe this isn't what you want. Maybe you don't need $83,000 in 5 months, and that's cool, but it's here for you. Whatever it is that you want, you can dream so big. There is no ceiling here. Pay off your debt, get a second house, get a vacation house, like change your life. That is what this business can do if you are doing it right. If you are seizing this momentum, we're going to be here and beyond, y'all. Okay, so who's excited to hear from our amazing panel of superstar directors? Yay! All right, so I'm going to pass it off to our next speaker, which is my wonderful friend, Stephanie Malbro. She is the superstar director of the Party Crew. She's got an amazing, amazing organization, including a superstar director, Andy Teeter. And Steffi just has so much wisdom that she's going to share with you guys today, and I can't wait for you to hear from her.
All right, friends, I don't know how to follow up with that. I actually spent time prepping notes like I was speaking for SFR today, or at probably even more so like leadership, because that's when you're talking to a caliber of other leaders who naturally we assume already know all the things. It's just whether or not we're putting those into practice or not. Like, you all got to this point, you know what to do. It's just now, are you just going to sit there with your fancy new director title, or are you going to keep doing the things to like boss up and move up? So I'm very nervous. So I actually have notes like all in front of me, which is very unlike me. I'm usually like prep my notes and then just fly by the seat of my pants. For me, getting like words onto paper is my brainstorm session usually, but today I'm actually going to rely on them because I want to make sure that what I've been wanting to say and what's been weighing on my heart for days and weeks and months now is spoken, as opposed to me popping off with this at the end of this and being like, I really wish I would have said this, or I really wish I would have covered that, and I meant to do that. So today I'm going to be taking less than 10 minutes to go ahead and talk about an idea that when I heard it, it clicked for me. So we all know the term like IPAs, income producing activities. We all know that term. But when it was broken down and explained to me on a YouTube video, so this wasn't something that Cincy had like shared with me from a fancy stage, or wasn't specifically like spoken to me directly, but I felt when I watched, whether it was a YouTube video or a Facebook Live, when I heard this concept, all of a sudden I was like, light bulb moment for me. So what I'm talking about is Justin Cox's 3 legs of success, which essentially is IPA. So if you guys haven't seen this before, this is what I'm going to be talking about today. And I'm actually going to not cover some of the things because my girlfriend Sarah later will be talking about like self-care. And then Katie just talked about the importance of coaching, which is the 3rd leg of the stool. So we're talking about 3 legs of success. I want to really talk to you guys about mastering the very first 2 legs, because you cannot skip a leg and have success. You cannot skip a leg and jump forward. You cannot skip a leg and have a foundation. What happens if your stool has 2 legs? You're probably gonna wobble and fall off. So your stool has to have all 3 legs, and they all have to be stable to build a foundation, to continually to have a successful business, to keep moving forward, whether that's maintaining your numbers and consistently being paid a title, whether that's maintaining your numbers, consistently being paid a title so you can promote up to star director, so you can promote up to superstar director, so that you can join all of us in our freaking hustle to build superstar directors of our own, to someday be in what my husband calls the circle of trust, which is the circle of excellence. So I want to talk about today, really talking about the importance of the first leg of the stool and the second leg. So the very first leg of the stool is sales. Now, your director, your sponsor, your upline has told you over and over and over again. I remember when Andy and I were in the pool in Costa Rica and we met Jen Audette for the very first time. And she was like, she told us how much she made that year. And she was like, if you want this wealth, if you want this kind of income, if you want your husband to have the opportunity to pass up a job promotion so that he can continue to work days, he's a cop. If you want your husband to be able to have choices when it comes to employment, you got to do the 2x2. And that is consistently selling $2,000 in PRV every single month, and also recruiting 2 consultants every single month, 2x2. There's lots of things out there graphics wise talking about this. I don't know a single superstar director on this call who don't preach and do 2x2. It's just what we do. Small PRV means small gains in your business. And so everything that you do in this business and the foundation that you start has high PRV, and it has to for a few reasons. High PRV means a bigger network that you've grown. High PRV means bigger network you have grown, which means more people you have to recruit. Everything starts with PRV. If you do not have high PRV, you have a little network. If you do not have high PRV, the customers who got you to director cannot sustain you. We can't keep holding on to the 30 customers that we've had since our launch party and having them maintain our business. That's not what's going to promote us to the next title. That's not what's going to get us these big 5-figure paychecks that we desire. So everything on this stool and in your business starts with high PRV. High PRV yields more people that you're meeting, means more people that you're selling to, means more people that you can turn around and do a host earn a kit for, that you're also just sponsoring and bringing onto your team. So I don't care how you get that PRV. And as a superstar director now, you can actually go out and get your PRV through things that bring you joy. I remember when I first started Scentsy, I was doing back-to-back events on a Saturday and then finishing up that night with a home party. When I was brand new to Scentsy and in the first 2-3 years, not months, was I doing anything and everything that was presented to me to get PRV and to get in front of new people. Events, fundraisers, basket parties, pouch parties, Facebook parties, anything that was going to yield me PRV, I did not turn down, because as a brand new consultant, as a brand new director, I could not afford to say no or say I don't feel like it, or I don't enjoy doing home parties, which I don't. And now I am able to have that opportunity to maybe kind of guide them into the idea of let's do a pouch party instead. But when you are in this season of your business, we can't afford to say no. We can't afford to say I don't feel like it. And so get to a place where you've tried everything so that you can decide what things bring you joy in this business and then do that and then master that. So if for you it is curating whiff boxes because you really have this itch to craft and you like to put your hands on things and create customizable whiff boxes for your customers, and that's your jam and that's how you get high PRV and yield referrals so that you can continue to grow your whiff box client base, go for it. If you enjoy doing 10 pouch parties a month and getting those out, 2 pouch parties because you're a busy mom and you can bring 2 with you to the ball field and pass them off. If you like doing home parties because you're a social butterfly, go out and book all the home parties. If you like to do fundraisers, I love fundraisers. It is an incredible way to get my name out there with new clients, new customers who I never, ever, ever would have met otherwise. I love fundraisers, whether it's a full catalog or just scent circles. Whatever it is, book a crap ton of parties, book a crap ton of pouch parties, get them out, fundraisers, multiple in the fall, just whatever it is that you can do. Scentsy Club, great way to boost PRV. All of those things we didn't have when we started back in 2010. I was 2011. We literally had wax and warmers, y'all. And now we have wax, warmers, wall fan diffusers, mini fan diffusers, deluxe diffusers, an entire cleaning line, an entire laundry line, a kids line. We have all of these things. There's no excuse for not being able to have high PRV right now. We have a lot of things to sell, and we constantly have things dropping. Y'all, back when we started, we had warmer of the month and scent in the month. That's what we had to look forward to as a promotion. Now we have Marvel and Disney getting ready to drop. We just had Star Wars again yesterday. We have so many things that are constantly being thrown at us that we just have to go out and sell, that we just have to go out and share for high PRV. So that leads me into the second stool, the second leg of the stool, and that is sponsoring. So the second part of 2x2, $2,000 in PRV should be your absolute goal. Anything more than that is just icing on the cake. And then the second leg is sponsoring. 2 new consultants every single month. Reinstatements don't count. 2 new consultants, new blood. And the reason why we want to stress these 2 things, because you will have no team. You will have no team page. You will have no team culture if you are not building your own personal business first. When you hit director and then 6 months from now and you're stumbling in and out of hitting numbers, if you have not been focusing on your personal business, on your own personal sales and your own personal sponsoring, and when we're talking about bring in new blood, it excites the old blood. It starts with you. Not that every single one of you knows how to walk the walk. You guys all know what to say to your team. You all know what to say when it comes to sales. You all know what to say when it comes to recruiting, but they're watching you. They are watching you welcome people to the team, for reals, for reals. They are watching to see if your name is in the top 10 shout out for PRV. They are watching you post your PWS thank you that you put together. They are watching you post a picture on your team page of your basket party that you're getting out. You may be getting little engagement or no engagement when you post on your team page, but I assure you, they are watching you do those things. So just leading them through sponsoring will help them in turn start to sponsor as well. So sponsoring is sharing the opportunity with anybody and everybody. Start with sponsoring first and then end with the sale if that's where you end up. But we always work our way down. Present the opportunity first, then ask them if they'd be interested in their own personal shopping link or hosting a party. If both of those are no, then it's collecting their sale. Not, hey, Steffi, can you go ahead and order me this 6-pack when you get a chance? Heck no, I'm going to turn around and ask them if they've ever thought about doing what I do. And then when they're like, no, not really. Or then I'm going to present them, hey, I've been trying out this new thing on my PWS. It's called a personal shopping link. It just means, Katie, every time you've been ordering from me month over month, let's have those sales start to rack up towards your own host rewards. And I don't even use the word host rewards because that implies that they're having a party. But present them first with sponsoring their own personal shopping link or having a party, and then settle for the 6-pack sale. You have to share the opportunity though. I've had a couple leaders come to us and they're like, I asked, I can't believe, I got one recruit this month. I asked 5 people and only one did it. Yes, 5 people this month. Yes, 5 this month. I'm asking 10 a week. You have to be asking more people than just 5 in a month. If I ask to see a screenshot of your list, your dream team list, or the people who you're working with, or the people who you've planted seeds, I better see a lot more than 5 people on there. I better see a lot more than 10. It's 10 a week. If you want to have 1 to 2 recruits a month, you have to be asking at least 10 people a week. 10 of your customers, 10 of your hosts, 10 of the people who you see out in public all the dang time and they're commenting on how great you smell because it's pink cotton on your sweatshirt. You have to be presenting the opportunity more than 5 times in a month, more than 3 times, more than just when we have a $15 special. You guys, I am here to tell you, we have a special every single month. For years, we were asking home office for the Earn a Kit opportunity. We have the Earn a Kit opportunity now. We begged for that. We asked for that. And guess what? They listened. It's a special and we have it every single month. If you are ever a host on a party or you have a host, never should you ever close out that party without presenting the Earn a Kit option to somebody. It doesn't have to be the host. You have to present it to somebody. I know of superstar directors who have a list a mile long in their contacts in their phone of people who are like, I want to be next in line when you have an Earn a Kit opportunity. You only have to have $1 left in rewards, pennies left in rewards to be able to add that kit. You don't have to flip the PRV. You have to present the opportunity. Do not close out another $200 in orders that you've collected without offering the opportunity to somebody. Also, share your lifestyle, share experiences. My life now looks completely different than 2011, living in Key West, Florida, broke as a joke. Completely different. And 100%, it's because my husband's been promoting in the Coast Guard. And second of all, it's because of my hustle and dedication and consistency to this business to promote up. My lifestyle speaks for itself. I don't have to go on Facebook or on social media, Instagram, and brag about whatever car we drive or where we live or any of those things. It speaks for itself that last night was Thursday and he has buddies in town and we were able to just ask our oldest to babysit so we could go out to dinner and have a date night on a random Thursday. How many of your friends who aren't in Cincy can afford that luxury to go out to dinner, to pick up the tab because it was somebody's birthday? Let your lifestyle speak for itself as to your success in this business and people will want to join you. Share your experiences. Incentive trips. I've earned every single incentive trip. Let those pictures speak volumes. If you haven't earned an incentive trip yet, that's all right. Say, my sponsor just came back from, y'all, I wish I was coming back from Bermuda right now, but you could say last year or 2 years ago, I watched my upline go on a all expense paid through the Mediterranean where Cincy flew them to Barcelona, Spain, where they frolicked around for a few days beforehand. Y'all, since he did that, there's absolutely no way that on my husband's E7 budget in the Coast Guard that we would have afforded that. And even if we could afford that, never would we have ever been able to justify going to Barcelona, Spain, and on a Mediterranean cruise without our kids. Like, who has 10 grand just sitting around, 12 grand sitting around to just go on a couple's vacation and secure childcare and justify that when there's, you know, braces to put on teeth and, you know, an engine, you know, to be replaced in a car. No, people don't do that. So let your lifestyle and your experiences and your trips from Scentsy speak volumes for you. Share your story, share your journey. What my life looks like in 2011 compared to now, completely different. If you guys went back and looked on Facebook, what I looked like in 2011 to now, completely different. I have grown so much as a person, as a leader, as a friend, as a spouse, as a mother. I'm confident. There's just so much because of Scentsy that I have learned and grown. And so share that, let that shine through. Also, dream team list and relationship building. Always, you can't just keep it all up in here, because if you are having conversations with 10 people a week, you cannot remember all of those names up in your head. Who you asked 2 months ago to join your team, you should not remember because you've been having so many recruiting conversations. So keep it in your happy planner, keep it in the notes section, write down how often you communicate with them. If we did have a $15 join special, a $20 join special, what was their answer the last time? Because you will never, ever not just ask somebody once. The person who introduced me to Scentsy just joined my team last May for $15. The person who introduced me back in 2010 and was like, hey, I'm having a Scentsy party, would you like to come? She never joined. She finally joined under me last May, and she's about to promote to superstar consultant in probably today or tomorrow. You can't stop asking people. So make sure you record who you've asked and then their reason why that now isn't the time, so that you can follow up with them again. Also, because it comes across as sincere when I go and follow up 2-3 months from now and just be like, hey, checking in on you. I know you were going to be graduating from nursing school in May. Congratulations. Just wanted to let you know that we're getting ready to launch a brand new catalog. Now might be a better time for you to join. Leave it at that. You got to keep a list of who you've asked, and then the reason why they said not right now. Also, so that you don't stop asking them as well, and keep following up. Keep a list of 100. I know how simple that is and how we are always preaching to our brand new consultants, create a list of 100. That list of 100 needs to be updated all the dang time, because you are always meeting new people. Your list of 100 is now 200, 300, 400, 500 people deep, especially as people are joining your team. Now you're checking off who those people who were on your list of 100 probably now go underneath this consultant now instead, until they rock their business or decide it's not for them. Also, networking constantly. You have to go out there and put your face in front of people and introduce yourself. I am probably the biggest introvert out of all of these superstar directors on this panel. I order my groceries to my house. I have Target delivered to my house. Y'all, I had Office Depot deliver that stuff to my house so I didn't have to leave. And this was prior to COVID. I just like to be home. Home is happy for me. Home is comfortable, and it's what I'm familiar with. And so I know that I have to push myself out of my comfort zone and attend Chamber of Commerce events, attend the Realtor Smooze Fest that I go to every couple of months, because I bring a realtor gift basket with me. We have to constantly be going out there. If you're at a very active mom and you are part of the PTA, they better know that you're the Scentsy lady. If your kids are at the ball field every single night, the parents better know that you're there and you're able to pay for your kids' travel ball because of Scentsy. If your spouse is heavily involved in activities or sports or Cub Scouts or any of those things, they better know you as a Scentsy lady. We have to constantly be networking, constantly asking for referrals, constantly whining and dining our customers to ask for referrals, so that while there could be a Starbucks on every corner, why do you go to that particular Starbucks? Because they know your name and they get your order right. Same with Scentsy consultants. You might think that there are hundreds of consultants in your area. What sets you apart so that when somebody says, hey, I'm looking for a Scentsy consultant, when you go look in the comments on Facebook, you are the consultant. You are the consultant who's been tagged 12 times. What sets you apart? How are you networking constantly? And then lastly, System for setting up new team members for success. We're about to start another incentive trip period. We, no matter how the structure looks, cannot be onboarding new consultants, getting them to certified and saying bye. We cannot be onboarding new consultants and then going on your Superstar Directors group page and in the welcome to our team with tips and tricks and all the things, be just tagging them in the comments and being saying bye. That's not an onboarding system. That's not working with them. That's not helping them understand the importance of shooting start, sensational start, and going certified in the first 30 days so that they can get 25% commission. So we've got to be working on sponsoring and recruiting and sales so that when we have those two legs of this stool, we've built a foundation for success. And when you are sharing that you have high PRV, and when you are sharing with your team by leading by example, by having high PRV and by having high recruits, and then those recruits being successful because you're shouting them out on the team page for going shooting start and for hitting sensational starts levels 2 and level 3, because on this team, that's what we do, because that's what they are trained. Your teammates will mimic your behaviors. You need to recognize the behaviors that you want to see duplicated. So the last leg of the stool is coaching. Katie touched on it, and I know my friends for the rest of today will also be touching on the importance of connecting one-on-one and also the importance of coaching calls. So I'm gonna leave that leg there, but I just wanna say, you have absolutely no business in having a team page or going live or creating graphics or doing shout outs or recognition in newsletters if you do not have high PRV and recruiting. You have to take care of your personal business first and foremost. That's why if you're in my group, if you're in one of these SSDs groups, I'm probably sure that the majority of them send out an email or some sort of recognition to those who have $500 in PRV. For me, it's by the 10th of the month. That is behaviors that I want duplicated. That's it. So what I'm saying is you have no business with having a team page, coming up with a team name, creating graphics, and all of those things. If you cannot tell your team or lead your team by example, if you're sitting here right now and you have $137 in PRV, that's what you need to go back and be focusing on. High PRV, so that you can have high PRV, so you have a wider network, so you have more people to recruit. Not a team page, not a team name, because what are you going to be posting on that team page? Not ideas on how to get PRV, not ideas on how to recruit, not ideas on how to sponsor and onboard new consultants. You have to go back to the basics. First and foremost, high PRV and high recruiting. And I think I'm done. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce my friend and Superstar Director, Andy Teeter. Oh, that was Mikey. Andy Teeter is consistently paid at title as a Superstar Director. I can say that and say that with truth because I am her sponsor, so I know. Numbers don't lie. Andy is a annual sales and a mentor over and over and over again. I've lost track of the number of years, so I'm just going to say forever and ever, amen. Annual sales, annual mentor, consistently paid at title. And I want to say currently, like, we've been popping out directors like daisies in the last couple of months. So not only does Andy have her 4 frontline directors that she needs to be paid at titles, she's got a whole bunch of extras too. We call those insurance. So I want to go ahead and pass the mic over to her. And we are so, so thankful, you guys, for being on here, for tuning in, whether you're catching this live right now or catching the replay. I wish I had this. I wish I had this 10 years ago, 9 years ago. I wish we had something like this for Superstar Directors. So if you can take anything, 3 things from what we said today, even if it's just a swift kick in the butt to keep doing what you are doing because you already are doing these things, just let this be, you're doing it, sis. You're doing all the things, but keep going. Director isn't just a title. Director isn't just walking the stage. Director isn't just making sure you hit it in the spring so you get to walk the stage, so that you get to go to leadership at SFR. There's more to it than that. So we hope that you find those reasons why, that there's more to it for you today. So I'm done. I said I was done 3 times now, and now I'm done. So
Well, you know, I have to be at my hair appointment. So you guys know how important hair appointments are right now, and you cannot reschedule them. So I hope you guys are having an awesome morning. I am going to try to stick to my time. You guys know when you get like talking about something you're passionate about and you get going, you're like, and you don't pay attention to time. So I'm going to really try to pay attention. If it looks like I'm in a camper, that's because I am. I'm living my best life. My husband and I have been dreaming of traveling the country in our RV for years. And that has been a huge push for me in my business because I knew he was going to retire from the military and I would be the sugar mama. I would be the one that was bringing in the dough. And I knew I had to do what I've done the last few years. Now, when we talk, and I'm giving you this tough love today, I want you to remember that I have been there. I have struggled. I have wanted to quit. I have had 0 recruits for 3 months. I've had almost 20 recruits in 1 month. Okay. So when I'm sitting here telling y'all, hell yeah, you need to get to work, it's because I needed to tell myself that about 1.5 years ago, because it was either I was going to shit or get off the pot. And y'all know how my stomach is, most of you. I mean, it's probably going to be the shitting. So hopefully your kids are not around right now, because most of you are like, oh, Andy's speaking today, I better get the kids away from the computer. So first I want to say, if you want the money that you heard about in the beginning, you have to be all in. You cannot, it's like having a husband and 5 boyfriends. When you join and start other companies, and you cannot love one of them correctly because you're trying to love all of them. And that just don't work, guys. So you have to be all in. You cannot give up. Giving up cannot be an option for you. You're not always looking for the best opportunity to come by. You're either going to do this thing or not. And today you're showing me that you want to do this thing by being here. So let's get started. 80% of your time should be spent on your own business. Why? Because of what Steffi said. If you are not, you cannot tell your team to put in $2,000 and 2 recruits a month if you're not. So 80% of your time. So let's say that you give 2 hours a day or 4 hours, whatever. Break that down. 80% of your time should be spent on your own business doing revenue generating things. I'm not talking about y'all crafty, I love you, but I'm not talking about putting all your tissue paper together so it looks like a flower on your bags for customers. I know that's cute, but that's not revenue generating, okay? It's cute, and I love you guys, but it's not revenue generating. 20% of your team then goes to your teammates. But let's break that down further. Are you working with the right people? Now, some people say, I don't have anybody that wants it. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants to work their business like me, okay? But you do have a top 10%. So what does that look like for some of you guys? 10% of 30 is 3 people. So it's you and 2 other people that can change your whole business. 1 person under you can change your whole business. And I know a lot of you here can testify to that, okay? So out of that 20% of time, you are working with your top 10%. You're working with your front line first, and then you can reach out if you have time, because you're only responsible for your front line, and you should be teaching your team to be responsible for their own front line. But if you have time, yes, you should be reaching out to other people in your team that may want and desire more too. But for now, I don't want to overwhelm you, and I want you to work with your own front line and teach your front line to work with their front line. With saying that, I want to really bring home the fact we teach others how to treat us, okay? When your child brings homework to you, are you sitting there doing all their homework for them, handing it back, saying, there you go, honey? If you are you doing them an injustice? We can all agree with that pretty much, right? So why the hell are you guys not teaching your team to do the same? Because I tell you what, right now, The majority of my paycheck is because of my leaders. And they didn't become leaders because I was giving them all the answers and available to them 24 hours a day. They became leaders because I taught them to be independent consultants. I taught them to be leaders. I taught them to fend for themselves. I did tell them that I love them. I did show them that I love them, but I taught them to go look for the answers by themselves first, because that teaches someone to be a leader. You teach your teammates just like you would teach your children, right? They're grown adults. They're not even children. So why are we holding their hands so much? I'm not saying don't love on them. That's a totally different thing. And you love hard on them, man. If you're reaching out to them and you're not doing coaching calls, okay, well, you know what? First thing I think is you need to just love on them first. Work on the coaching calls, schedule the coaching calls later, but love hard on them. And sometimes loving hard on somebody means tough love, and that really sucks, especially as women, because we want everybody to love us and we want to do the right thing all the time. We don't want anybody to talk bad about us. But I tell you what, y'all, there are going to be people that talk bad about you. And I think I told Katie this one time. It doesn't matter what you do. You could look perfect, be perfect, do everything you think is right in this world. And there's always going to be some damn person out there, some Karen. I'm sorry for any of y'all that are named Karen. No offense, but y'all, the society did it to Karen. I didn't do it. There's always going to be some Karen out there that's like, well, Andy, she just gives tough love, and I think she's a bitch. Whatever. They're not writing my paycheck. So move on, sister, because I'm here to make people better and make people want to do better. And if you don't think I have a good heart, there's a million other people that can tell you that I really do. So bye, Karen. Okay? Who cares? So we teach people how to treat us. We want leaders. Do not make excuses for them, and don't let them think excuses are okay. I don't know how many times I've heard, well, she's pregnant, or, oh, her toenail's about to fall off. She dropped something on it and it's, oh my God, I feel so bad for her. She's probably gonna have to get her toe cut off, and there's no way she can work Scentsy business right now. No way at all. And I'm like, are you freaking serious? I'm over here with my arm hanging off. I done had my dogs die. My husband left me, and I'm putting in $5,000 a month and 10 recruits. You're telling me this chick has an ingrown toenail and her toenail is going to fall off and she can't put in her 500? Get the hell out of here. Quit making excuses for them, okay? Because if you make excuses for them, you're telling them that it's okay to have them themselves. Leaders inspire others to take charge. So this is a huge one. A lot of us women have a hard time with this. Some of y'all are not going to like me, but I love you still. You are not micromanagers in this business. You are not even a manager of someone else's business. If someone, your upline, is trying to micromanage you, tell them peace out. You're a leader. You can handle this on your own. Now, them coaching you is totally different, right? Totally different. If they're giving you advice, you can either take it or leave it. But if they're expecting you to do the things that you don't want to do, tell them hit the road, man. Your downline is the same. They want to be their own leaders. And I always say, well, this is what we would like, but if y'all choose another path, it's okay. Because I don't want to be a micromanager. And I think that control is so hard for us women. We really want control. And we got to turn it down a notch, because we can't control others all the time. And I know sometimes it's just because we want the best for them. But if we want leaders, we have to teach them to be their own person and to do their own things, okay? And it's okay if they don't follow your instruction that you did on the coaching call. I know it hurts your feelings, because it hurts mine too, but it's gonna be okay. Because if they're putting in the numbers and you see them putting in the numbers, that means they're doing something right, and it's right for them, and it might be not be for you. Relationships are key. So I talked about that. And I want to say one thing, and maybe you can write this down. Taking care of relationships today. So take care of relationships with, how are you going to write it down if I can't even say it? Take care of relationships today, and it will provide you with success tomorrow. And that works in all aspects of your business. Customer service for your people that are buying from you, your hostesses. And let's not forget, we all talk about customer service for our customers, but what about customer service for our teammates? Let me tell you something real quick. We had an SSD call yesterday, and Scentsie's cracking down. And I'm not saying this to scare you, but right now, and I don't think this was NDA, but right now, they are looking, all these directors that are out there just putting in 501, not recruiting, not working with their teams. They don't deserve that title, and they shouldn't have it. They're blocking people from making money. People that are busting their butts. And Scentsie's done. They're not putting up with it anymore. So if you're not working with your team, you might hate me for saying this, but either give up your leadership role. So email Scentie right now and tell them, I just want to sell, Scentie. I don't want a team. It's okay. Nobody's going to hate you. We would rather have you do that and be honest than have you not lead a team and just call yourself a director. Because guess what? Scentsie's going to pull the title from you. And I don't want to scare you. This is for people that are like, they're totally absent for months and months and months, you know, not working with their team, just putting in 501 mysteriously every month. And if you're that person that's here, you better hang on tight. You better change your business quick. I'm telling you. Let's see. I just want to end with letting you guys know, I know you're afraid to make mistakes. And I want you to know you don't have to do all the things. I want you to know that if you see somebody else doing a million things, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to do it to be successful, because I don't do all the million things, and I have a very successful business. So sometimes just loving on your team, one-on-one coaching calls with your front line, coming down to what you really need to do and just doing that and letting everything else go. If you can't afford to send your teammates goodies, I see some people sending their teammates goodies for being active. And I'm like, okay, that's great. Active consultants are important in our business, but that's not good. First of all, you can't have a team that duplicates what you're doing if you're doing all this stuff. And I know you guys a lot of you aren't where you want to be making money right now. And I don't want you to think that you have to go out and buy a damn laptop for everybody that sells $500 a month. Like, that's ridiculous. Sometimes it's the small things that matter. And I have made plenty of mistakes before, and I can tell you that if you just make somebody feel special sometimes, it goes a long way. And I've made that mistake, and sometimes I stumble too, and I do things and say things and I'm like, shit, I shouldn't have said that or done that. I mean, as you can probably tell, I put my foot in my mouth a lot. And you know, you're gonna make mistakes. You're going to stumble, you're going to fall, but you need to keep Scentie your happy place. If it's not your happy place, then you need to change what you're doing. You might be doing all the wrong things in your business, and it's overwhelming you right now because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing this, but I am doing this, and this. Drop all the stuff that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, guys. When it all comes down to it, your recruiting and your PRV right there alone is a huge, huge part of that. When you're leading by example, your team is going to follow you. I think that's all I have. So I am going to introduce Caitlin Baria. I just want to say real quick, guys, if you don't have Scentie friends, find them here. Find somebody. It doesn't have to be on your own team. And oh God, here it goes. I went the whole time without crying. If your why doesn't make you cry, have you guys heard that? If your why doesn't make you cry. These ladies that I'm doing this training with, and some of you guys that are on here on my team or on a different team, you are the reason that I've kept going. Those of you that have watched any of my trainings and been that one person to tell me that you wanted to do better because I said something really stupid, I thought, but it changed the way you thought, that's what keeps me going. those people that are here that I'm dying to see because we have had canceled trips and you know, reunion and everything. And I'm dying to see them because we only get to see each other once or twice a year because we live, you know, in a different country or a different state. You guys have to have your team, your people. And your people might do better than you, and they should. That's good. You should surround yourself with people that kind of scare you a little bit. Because I tell you what, when I did that and I surrounded myself with these ladies, that's when the party started. And hell yeah, sometimes I look at Jen Anderson's check and I'm like, damn, where can I get me some of that? And I know where I can get me some of that. It's by doing what I'm doing now and surrounding myself with people like her that make me want to be better and do better. I don't look at her and say, Jen's making more than me, therefore I'm a horrible leader and I should quit Scentsy because I'm obviously doing something wrong. No, you just need to hold on and surround yourself with people like that. Be happy for your friends that are making more than you and ask them what they're doing so you can get there. And if you don't get there as quick as they got there, who gives a damn as long as you get there? Because overall, who are you competing with? I know I'm competing with myself. Me, my numbers. I want my best paycheck. I don't want Jen's best paycheck because I'm not in the same position that Jen is right now, but I will be someday. Okay, so all right, I'm really going to introduce Caitlin now. Caitlin Baria is a total rock star. She has a group of 1,000, 19 directors, top 50, top 150. This girl's always earning top something. She is a total rock star, and she still sells the hell out of PRV. Sometimes I'm like, how is she doing all this? This girl's amazing. Always annual mentor, annual sales. She rocks this, so listen to what she says. Don't be overwhelmed today, guys. Do your best, be your best, and make yourself proud. I love you guys.
Flippin' damn it, Andy. Like, why did you have to make me like all like emotional and like shaky before I go on? Like, I'm not... I hate you right now, but I love you so much. Oh my God. Guys, how do I go from the fire they just brought you to the hopefully fire that I'm about to bring you? But listen, I am going to say something really fast. You are going to hear a lot of the same things today. Maybe in different ways. Maybe we say them slightly differently. But if you're on here and you're like, she just said that, she just said that, we're all going to say the same thing. I'm telling you right now, some of my notes look the same as what Katie, Andy, and Steph said, and you'll probably hear it from others on this call. Listen to what we are saying because we know what we are doing. We have been there. We have been through the struggle. We've been through the rise. We've been through the dip. We've been through all the things. Please listen to us and take to heart what we are saying, even though we're saying the same thing 20 different ways. The bare minimum that you should be doing as a leader, 2,000 PRV and 2 new recruits a month. That's called the 2 to 5 year plan. Jen Aldette's 2 to 5 year plan. We have said Jen Aldette. I think each of us have mentioned Jen's name. Jen is amazing. If you don't know who she is, find her on YouTube. Yes, as leaders, we only have to sell 500. Guess what? As a lead consultant, only lead consultants, they only have to be able to put in 500 PRV too to be paid off of our teams. But why would we want to strive for the bare minimum? Why wouldn't we want to rise above that and lead by example? Higher PRV overall means more customers. More customers means more potential recruits and more leads. Higher PRV overall means that you are talking to more people. If you feel like you are hitting up the same pool of people each month for PRV, you need to focus on expanding your circle. You can sell 2,000 minimum a month. And if you're telling yourself that you can't, that's the first problem. Stop telling yourself that you cannot do things. Stop right now. If there has been anything on this call that you have said, well, I can't do that, that's the first problem. And you need to write that down right now. Your first problem is you telling yourself that you cannot. If you don't have systems, and we've said this word a million times too, system. If you do not have a system for something, you need to get one. My systems for my high PRV are my scent crates and a really, really thriving VIP group on Facebook. And just like Steph said earlier, that's not what my business has always looked like. No, when I was rising through the ranks, I was doing home parties, I was doing events, I was doing fundraisers, I was doing things that didn't necessarily bring me joy or make me happy to build a business, to build a foundation. But you need to be doing all the things to find the things that fit and work for you. I've done this. This will be my 9th year. I have finally found what makes me happy 9 years in. That doesn't mean that if somebody comes to me for a home party, I'm like, no, I don't want to do a home party. It just means it doesn't bring me joy. It doesn't make me happy. It's not what I'm out there doing. My scent crates and my social media bring me in 5,000 to 6,000 PRV a month, and that makes me happy. You should have your 500 in by the 15th at the earliest. But are you somebody on this call who struggles with reaching your 500 right now? You need to be working smarter, not harder. And what I mean by that is one of the tools that we have that can help us get to our 500 PRV is Scentsy Club. I use this program to my full advantage because that is what it is there for. Every single month when Scentsy Club hits, I have a bare minimum 500 PRV that hits from the club. I focus heavily on the perks of club with my customers. If you didn't see the email from yesterday, make sure you were on the leadership call on Monday. There are some really, 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 really important changes coming to club on Monday, and they're rolling this out to directors first. You need to be on that call on Monday. Use this month and now next month, guys, they are giving us Bring Back My Bar while supplies last into July. Use this month and next month to reach out to your customers who are obsessed with certain fragrances on that list, which might I add, this is one of the best lists that we have had in a very long time. When someone hears that they can get their favorite fragrance forever, most of the time they're on board and they're wanting to hear more. Get your 500 PRV in by the 15th. And work smarter, not harder. Utilize club to get your 500 in so you don't even have to think about it. You've heard this before too. Cut the freaking fluff from your business, guys. Stop doing things right now, today, that do not serve you, that do not serve your business and your paycheck. What are some income producing activities that you should be focusing on? Andy said the flowers on your, your little handmade flowers that you're putting on, making your customers' bags cute and spending so much time on flipping samples and all this crap. It doesn't matter. What matters is following up with your customers personally, booking parties, coaching calls, working on building your leaders and your frontline, AKA the 20% of the people on your team pulling freaking 80% of the work. Join conversations. Those are income producing activities. Something that you should not have to be worrying about. We talked about you should not have to be worrying about putting in 500 because you should be doing more than 500. You should not have to worry about getting your active frontline active each month. If you have a small frontline, guess what? It is going to be a stress. And it is going to be a struggle to get 3 people active. It's also going to be a stress and a struggle to get your minimum TWV. But listen to this. The answer to any problem that you are ever having in this business is recruiting. That is the number one answer to any problem that you are having. People aren't talking in your team, in your page. This is something I talk to my directors about all the time. If you feel like you're not getting interaction in your team page, go out and recruit some new blood, some excited, some on fire, new blood. Recruit and recruit heavy, and it'll fix that problem quick. You need to have a good, solid foundation of a front line that you can count on. And that's what your team your frontline is. That's the foundation of your business. And I know that so many of you on this call are thinking, I can't recruit. We have already talked about that damn word can't. Kick it out of your freaking vocabulary. I can't stand it. The fact that you are telling yourself that you can't is proof enough that you won't. Stop waiting on a join special to save you. Stop waiting for the next incentive period to have join conversations. I am so guilty. And I'm not afraid to say it. Are you guilty of that? Are you waiting for this next trip earning period to start in August to start recruiting again? That is not okay. Not okay. At any title, not just leadership titles, you should be growing as fast, if not faster, than your fastest growing team member. Identify the person in your downline or your frontline that is growing quickly and grow faster than them. And if you don't have anybody that you can look in your frontline and downline and say, wow, they're flipping killing it, go out and recruit 10 people, and one of those people in that 10 is going to be a badass. Because what happens when that boss underneath you becomes a director themselves? You're left with no team. You are left with no team. A strong, active frontline is a must, no matter if you're a director, a lead consultant, a superstar consultant, a superstar director. I've promoted 5 first-generation directors the last couple of months. Know what that has done to my team numbers? My team numbers are still good, but they've gone down. Do I stop working? Do I kick back with a margarita and say, well, it's done. Finally making those paychecks that I wanted to. I can just sit back and relax. No, I need to go out there and recruit and sponsor some more bosses. I was told early on in this business that in order to have big paychecks, you should be focusing on having 100 frontline at all times. And that has always been my goal. Have I always had 100 frontline? Nope. I ebb and flow. Everything in this business ebbs and flows. But I can tell you right now, my main focus is always to have 100 frontline. I got paid almost $5,000 just off of my team wholesale volume last month, even with promoting out 5 new baby Ds with almost 60 active frontline. Hobbyists are just as important as big ballers in this business. You just heard me. Hobbyists are just as important as big ballers in this business. You need a healthy amount of hobbyists and bosses if you want to make this business big and long term. You are 100% capable of building residual income. And what I mean by that is when you go to sleep at night and you wake up the next morning and you have higher TWV and higher GWV, guess what, Boo Bear? You just made money in your sleep. Anyone making big money in this business will tell you 100 frontline is something that we all need to be working towards. It's scary. It's intimidating. I thought the same thing before I got to 100. I looked at that number and I was like, shit, how am I going to do that? Let's get real for a second. I know so many of you, and even some of my directors on this call, I'm speaking to you right now, promoted within the last couple of months with very small teams. What a freaking incredible accomplishment. I'm not even downplaying this accomplishment because some people on my team even promoted with a team of 10 to director with a team of 10. Y'all, I didn't promote to director until I had 4 times that size. A team of 10. But if you want to keep the title and you want to keep building big, and you never want to fall into the queue. You need to be building big into this fall. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I was in and out of the queue a lot when I promoted to director. You know why? Because when I promoted to director, I had 6,000 PRV. I'm gonna go ahead and be real honest with y'all, but I realized when I saw that director queue beside my name that something I was doing was not working, and I needed to go out there and I needed to grow big. I pray to God. I pray every day. I hope this momentum that we are seeing right now never stops. But as a seasoned consultant who has been through the rise and the dips and the many things that we have gone through, the momentum will eventually slow down. And we need to make sure that we have the numbers possible to sustain for the long haul, right? This momentum's going to slow down. I don't know if that's going to be January or next year sometime, but the momentum's going to slow. And we need to make sure that we have the numbers in the front line to be able to hit those numbers consistently. So we need to be growing big into this fall, but not just through the fall. Every dang month, we need to be growing big. No matter what title you get into no matter what title you get to in Scentsy, you cannot stop growing. Your business is the most important thing. I think we each have said that too. Even when you reach SSD, you heard me, your business and your team is most important. If you want big paychecks, if you want a big business, you cannot stop. I see so many people have a goal title that they work towards. And that's why I wore this shirt today. I wore this shirt for you guys. It says, always be yourself. Unless you can be a superstar director, then always be a superstar director. This was my goal shirt. Guys, I've had this shirt like 4 years or something crazy like that. I bought it when I was not a superstar director because I wanted to wear it and look at it and know that that was what I was working towards. It is okay. But when you get there, when you get to that title, you can't stop. So many people get to a title and they think, well, I've made it. I'm not here to tell you to burn yourself out. I'm telling you to learn to rest, don't quit. Learn to slow down, don't ever completely stop. Something that Jennifer Anderson said to my team recently that has stuck with me so much, it is okay to have a goal title, but a title is not the goal. Because what happens when you get to SSD? You feel like there's nothing else to strive for. And I see so many SSDs stop working because of this. They get to SSD and they think, well, I've made it, I'm at the top. No, your dreams have to be bigger than a title. Your dreams have to be tangible. One of my highest goals was the $10,000 paycheck. Guess what? I hit that in April for the first time. Then I raised it to $15,000. I hit that in May. Now my dream check is $20,000. I'm gonna be real, raw, and honest with you for a second. Don't judge me. My husband and I had over $65,000 in credit card debt at the beginning of 2020. $65,000 in credit card debt. We're down to $30,000, and I'm going to have it paid off at the end of this year. And that is thanks a lot to my Scentsy business. I cut my freaking debt in over half because I'm focused. I have big goals. I never stopped making my dreams bigger and better. We want to pay off debt completely. I'm talking about cars. I want to own my car. I don't want credit card debt ever again. We want all that debt gone, and guess what? We're doing it. And we want to start saving for our dream home. And this business makes all of that possible and more. If your goal right now is to achieve a title, try and switch that up a bit. What could $10,000 do for you? Maybe not even $10,000. What could a bigger paycheck than you're making right now mean for you? Maybe it's a gold paycheck. Maybe it's a gold car. Maybe it's a home. Maybe it's paying off debt. Whatever it is, dream big and go for it. Do what 99% of the world won't do so you can live like the 99%. Do not. Tell yourself that you can make big money. Stop telling yourself that it isn't for you to claim. Stop telling yourself that you're not worthy of $10,000 paychecks, $20,000 paychecks, because you absolutely flipping are. Whether you've got a freaking degree, guess what? I've got a degree and I haven't worked it a damn day in my life. Whether you've got a degree, whether you have a GED, whether you didn't flip and get a diploma, whatever it is, wherever you come from, whatever walk of life, whether you come from a flippin' holler in West Virginia or you come from a big city, where you can have it all. Stop telling yourself that you can't. And I'm proof of that. We've talked about systems for PRV and systems for coaching and systems for frontline. If you don't have a set system that you follow in at least one of these areas, please get on it. There are so many amazing videos on YouTube. OG Boss Babes with Chloe and her team. Anna Hughes has an amazing frontline focus binder that you can start so that you know that you are training and talking to your frontline like you need to be, teaching them to grow and growing yourself. Treat this like a business. Treat this like you are worthy of a $10,000 check and you will make one. But treat this like a side hustle and you will 100% get paid like a side hustle. All right, guys, I'm going to go cry. But first, I'm going to introduce you to my friend, April Nyman. She is a constant SSD, paid it title. And listen to this, guys. She's a group of over 3,300, and she has 71 directors. What? 71 directors. She's an annual mentor earner and trip earner, all the good things. But I'm gonna hop off here and pass it to my friend April. April, I love you. You're incredible. Freaking 71 directors is insane. I'm coming for you, mama. And just like Andy said, surround yourself with people that are doing better than you at all times. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey guys, April Nyman here. Holy cow, Caitlin, like how could I even, you guys, my friends, have me all up in my feels today. This is the reason that we wanted to put this little one-day boot camp together. The things that we're talking about in here, you guys, when we talk about find some friends outside of your team, find some leaders, like my blood is pumping, I have goosebumps, I'm like tears are welling up in my eyes. These leaders that are on this call today, you guys, we were all baby director friends that started working together years and years and years and years ago. It makes me feel like an old Scentsy lady now. We set our $1,000 goal paychecks together. We've celebrated all the small wins, every hard time we've had to push through, every hard teammate we've had to push through, every slow season, every big season, having babies, people changing jobs, people moving across the country. We've shared those things. We've worked through those things. This is the tribe of women that I come to when I hit a hard place in my business, when I don't feel like enough, when I might be having a lot of recruits, but my PRV is slipping, and I come to them and say, okay, you guys, what are you doing? They're the ones that hold me accountable. We've watched each other grow through the years, not just in our businesses, but as people. And so the common thread of surrounding yourself with people who are where you want to be, that's in all the areas. You are worthy to be around amazing people. You are an amazing person. There are some parts of my business that are bigger than my friends. There are other parts of my business that are lacking in areas that they are having astronomical success in. That's the reason that all of us together are better. And when we hold ourselves accountable and hold each other accountable, there's literally nothing that you can't do in this business. The topic that I'm going to cover today is recognition. And I'm sure, like Caitlin was saying, there's a lot of things that my friends before me have said that I have down here to talk about. So it all intertwines. But I think back to when I first became a director, and the things that I try to talk to my team about and my leaders about and get them prepared for is the mistakes I made, the early thoughts that I had about things that I needed to do that were a waste of my time and what I really needed to focus on. And 2020, as crazy as it is, and who knows what we have left in store, crazy in a lot of amazing, great ways too, right? Because as a Scentsy consultant, 2020 is pretty freaking rocking. I mean, this is definitely a year to remember. So rising above all the craziness that's going on in the world, diving into your Scentsy business is crazy. It's hard to think that all the years ago I was celebrating my first $1,000 paycheck. You guys, my husband, I haven't really made like a big announcement about this yet or made it like public knowledge. We just retired him from his 6-figure corporate job, and not just 6-figure, like pretty big 6-figure, rock solid corporate America, works in the pharmaceutical industry as an executive job. He doesn't have to go back to work because of Scentsy. 8.5 years ago, we were active duty Navy, and I was staying at home with our daughters. We were living paycheck to paycheck, and we qualified for WIC. That's what your Scentsy business can do for you. And not only can it do it for you, the best part about this is that you get to teach other people how to grow businesses that way. So when I want to talk about recognition, recognition is not owed to any of us. We are all independent business owners, okay? The recognition is extra. It's what makes our culture feel warm and fuzzy. But if there's not a consistent like checks and balances, it's really easy to overdo it in a lot of areas. Just like they were talking about the cute little flower on the packaging. Just like people who want to take 12 hours a week to make the perfect samples that are perfectly shaped and perfectly packaged and perfectly labeled and all the things. I'm not saying to not be professional. And if you have certain things in your business that bring you joy, then more power to you. But it's not income producing. And that's also why you will keep hearing us preach that your personal business comes first. Recruiting and PRV is what you always need to be focused on. But with leadership also comes the responsibility to recognize your team members, and it's an opportunity to show them your love and appreciation for what they do. So helping others is our #1 form of recognition. I don't want you to let recognition take up so much of your time. So as an early director, what I see and what I've seen with some of my directors in my downline is specifically the ones that hit director and then they kind of stall out on growth, is they think, I've hit director. Now I have this team of people. They're like a mama duck, right? They spread out their wings and they take all their little ducklings under their wings and they want to take care of these people, which is amazing, right? But your wings are only so big. You can only hold so many little ducklings underneath there. And the team that got you to director is not going to be the same team that gets you to star director, is not going to be the same team that gets you to superstar director. And that's not the same team that's going to get you consistently paid at title as a superstar director. It's going to ebb and flow and change constantly. So as we've all talked about on the call already, working with your frontline is going to be the most important. And when you work closely with them and you give them the opportunity to work closely with their front line, and the reason I say give them that opportunity is because just because you're a director, it doesn't mean make you in charge of managing every single person on your team. You don't have time for that because you still have a personal business to build. So don't fall into this director role where you think you have to be everything to everybody, because it will burn you out. Do for a team of 30 what you can do for a team of 300, what you can do for a team of 3,000, what you can do for a team of 30,000. You guys, Scentsy is still a baby company in the grand scheme of direct sales. The hyper growth that's happening right now is taking everything to the next level. And it's not the last time we're going to see hyper growth. Okay. Scentsy's in it for the long haul. So don't be afraid to think big. If you think small and you only want to have a team of 30 for the rest of your days in Scentsy, then have at it. Have fun taking your little 30 ducklings on your wings and love on them all you want. So yes, recognition is our number, is helping others. It's cheering them on. There's all kinds of types of recognition. I try not to duplicate things that Scentsy already recognizes. But as new leaders, I don't want you spending 20% of your paycheck sending out monthly mail to your team. That's money that should be paying bills for your family. That's money that should be paying down debt. That's money that you should be spending on your kids, on your husband, on yourself, on your home, on your animals, on whatever it is in your life that you are working Scentsy to make money for and beyond, because I want you to think bigger than that. So many people have a hard time thinking big, dreaming big. And then you get to a point where you hit goals and you think, well, now what? So think big and then dream bigger. Types of recognition, you guys, shout outs are free. Shout outs are free. Shout people out on your team page. Shout people out on their wall so all their friends and family can see it, right? Success is attractive to people. Small things, big things, all the things. Don't get so caught up in recognizing every single thing that you do shout outs for 5 days out of the month. Like I'm talking full days, and you can shout people out, take 10 minutes a few times a month or uh-oh, I think I'm stuck. Am I on? Okay. Sorry, I live out in the woods, y'all, so I might drop off every now and then. Anyway, shout outs are free. People just want to feel seen. They want to feel heard. Voice messages, phone calls, connect with them, love on them, right? You can send a quick message over Messenger, just hold the little voice thing down and say, hey, I see you. I saw your awesome post today on Facebook. That's recognition. They feel seen. They feel heard. When you see one of your team members working, snapshot that, screenshot it, share it in your team page. Hey, look at so-and-so rocking her business. Okay, the things that you recognize are going to be repeated. So figure out what actions you want repeated and then recognize that. Postcards. Postcards are a very inexpensive way to get started. You do not have to send postcards for every single thing that anybody does. But it's a great way to have somebody smile. You guys all know, you guys have all received happy mail. I know who your leaders are. It's amazing getting something in the mail other than bills or junk mail or your car insurance saying it needs renewed or what have you. Gifts. Send gifts if you want to send gifts. If you do not have gifts in your budget, you do not have to send gifts. It's okay. You can build up to that. Make that a goal. Put that on your goal list, your dream board. When I make SSD, I'm going to up my gift budget to this much. And gifts can be dollar store stuff. Gifts can be a gift card that's cheap to mail, $5. You don't have to send, I can tell you from experience, you don't have to gift iPads to motivate people. Whether the gifts are big, whether the gifts are small, people are going to do the same work. They feel just as seen and just as recognized with shout outs with connection with you. They want to feel connected to you. They want your time. Keep it simple and don't compare. This is something that I've been wanting to go live in my leadership page and talk about, because it's almost becoming an epidemic of its own in Scentsy leadership. We have the share page, right? And everybody goes in there and shares their ideas, and we all compare and think that we need to be doing everything that everybody else is doing. We can't all be the best of the best. Like, we can't do the one thing that each of the best is doing and do all those, or we're going to get overwhelmed and we're going to get burnt out. Don't send $20 happy boxes. Don't send $5 happy boxes that cost $5 to mail to every single person on your team that went active.
Here you go, Mom.
Oh, thank you, baby. Okay, walk down. Thank you. Okay, we're in. Okay, say hi, and then you guys got to go. Every time. Hi, he brought flowers. All right, go. Love you. Okay, go. Go, 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 go. Lord have mercy. They just walked up our 1,400 foot, so like quarter-mile long driveway to come up and give a flower and say hi, guys. So where was I? Don't go overboard. Do what you can do. People will feel loved. Be authentic. Don't try to do what everybody else is doing. As long as you're doing something, okay? But we have to stop the epidemic of sending a dancing clown with flowers to team members that get active. It's too much. It's not going to sustain your business. It's not going to help you grow. It's not going to grow leaders. It's a time waste and it's a money waste. Okay. If you don't keep things simple, you won't keep doing it. So figure out, you're going to recognize what's important to you, what you want to do, recognize that, and then stick with that. If you try to recognize 30 things every single month, or mail things for 30 different things every single month, it's going to get overwhelming, and then you're not going to do it. So it's better to do a smaller amount and be consistent with it than it is to do a whole bunch of stuff 1 month and then not do it again for 3 months, or get like 4 months behind. Then it just looks inconsistent and unprofessional. Who do I recognize? I recognize my frontline and my leaders. I work with my team. I have 5 SSD and downline. They all work with their teams, right? I can level my SSDs, but they're all working with their teams. I work closely with my team. If you're a brand new director, when you start breaking out directors, there's never too much love. There's never too much recognition. When you promote out a new director, that's a rite of passage. They get to shout out their team. They get to do their happy mail. They get to do those things. Also relieves you more time to focus on personal business, to go out and recruit new people so you can find your next rock star and recruit your next, or promote out your next director. You can't be everything to everybody. You absolutely cannot. And if you don't have that, I'm giving it to you. Because it's really easy when you work with a lot of amazing leaders to try to feel like you need to do what everybody else is doing, and it can become too much. Then you get burnout, and nobody wants to hit burnout. When I'm doing shout outs, okay, so I'm a superstar director. Of course, I can shout out anybody in my group, anybody in my team, but I don't want to take that away from their sponsor, right? So when we talk about working closely with your front line and teaching them to work with their front line and so on, if I'm doing end of month shout-outs and I see somebody's close to a promotion, I don't go shout that. I don't go reach out to that person. I see who their sponsor is or who my front line team that's on. I go to them and let them do it. And so sometimes just pulling them up on and saying, hey, you notice so-and-so is certified. You notice so-and-so is only $200 away from promoting to lead. It gets your frontline that to looking for those things. Get frontline the affirmation that you see them as a leader. It makes them feel responsible for their people. They don't get to just sit back and say, oh, well, it does that. I'm going to go work my business while April runs my team. No, that's not how it works. April's going to be all in your inbox saying, hey, go shout out your girl that just certified. And then they say, oh, well, where did you find that? And then you can dig deeper into the leadership type stuff about running reports and what to look for and all those things. But when you go to them and let them know that you see them as a leader, then they start thinking of themselves as a leader. Then they start taking on more responsibility. Then you're going to grow strong, independent, confident leaders because you took those steps with them to show them what to look for, to show them to work with their frontline and teach their frontline to do the same. Decided we're going to recognize, be consistent with it. Okay, so when I start duplicating things that Cincy recognizes, everybody sets out different recognition. I've made a list of some things that you can recognize, but just figure out what works for you, what you want to duplicate, what you want your team to duplicate, and be consistent with it. Something that I always shout out is the title. A lot of people will hit lead or hit star and then they kind of stall out. A lot of them don't really realize that you hit title, but if you're not paid a title every month, you're leaving money on the table. So if you can have a conversation about that every single month, when you say, hey, everybody, this is everybody paid at title. This is what paid at title is. It's just a group umbrella to make sure that your team is understanding they need to get paid at title every month or they're going to be leaving money on the table. And looking at the numbers, then people dig in and start figuring out and start pushing to get paid at title because they realize that it's a thing. Okay, those early consultants. At title, active frontline. I've started shouting out active frontline as much as we've all been teaching about getting your active frontline, growing it. It's the base of business. That's what you're going to pull your frontline directors from. Same thing, if you shout it out every month, your team is going to be more aware and start tracking it and following it more because you're shouting it out and bringing attention to it. Welcome post, welcome mail, promotions, top PRB, top sponsors. But the main idea is be duplicatable. You don't want to do so much recognition and spending $1,000 a month on prizes and gifts and all the things so people look at you and say, oh my gosh, I could never do that. Okay, so keep it authentic to you, keep it simple so that you can continue to do it and teach your team to take care of their team members. I think that is everything that I have, and I think my signal is getting spotty, so I am going to introduce my girl Kandi Hine. Kandi is a military spouse. She actually started her business when they were stationed over in Korea. Her and I have a shared love of Korean food. She has a master's degree, but Kandi chooses, she chooses Cincy over the 8 to 6 grind. We all know that there's so many people out there who want out of the rat race, you guys. So Candy's a great example of just because somebody has a big fancy degree and is super successful doing something, it doesn't mean they're not looking for something better, right? Like Cincy, the freedom that Cincy provides. Candy's an SSD with a group of over 1,000 consultants. She has 19 directors and star directors. She's a multiple time and annual mentor and annual sales earner. And she's a top 100 and top 150 earner for every trip. So Kandi, I love you, and I'm going to hand it over to you, girl.
All right. Hi, guys. Hope y'all are doing great tonight. So, like Andy, I am also camping here in Texas, where it's also really hot. So you see me sweating. I had to turn off the air conditioner in here. So I am coming to you from a camper. But first, before I dig in, I'm Kandi Hine. I am the Superstar Director for the Firefly Collective. And hi, girls. But before I really dive into what I want to chat with you about, first I just want to say how crucial it is to surround yourself with people that are better than you. Surround yourself with incredible people. I've worked with, just a second. Sorry. I have worked with everyone here that is a panelist on this call for the past 6 years. And I started with kind of a mentorship group like Katie mentioned 6 years ago whenever I was in DQ. And I had, I think, 21 people on my team. And now, of course, SSD with over 1,000. And it would not have been possible without the support and being pushed and getting to do trainings like this with the caliber of people that are the panelists on this call. So they are some of my very best friends in not only Cincy, but just in life. And I appreciate them so much. And you've got to go out and find those people that can do that for you, that can do that for you. So with that, today I'm going to be talking about growing your business through your team with the compensation plan as your guide. And this might feel elementary to some of you that are further along in your journey, and it might feel a little bit more advanced if you are a brand new director. But really, really, it doesn't matter which one you are, because it is crucial for you to understand this piece of the puzzle to be able to strategically grow and have success in this business. And another reason that I know that this is a message that you need to hear is recently I shared it on an SSD page, and there were so many that agreed that it was a piece of the puzzle that they didn't get until they were an SSD and a year or two or longer as an SSD. And so I hope that this message really resonates with you. And it's something that I wish I would have been told way earlier on in my career. And I think it can make a difference for you. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to talk about some typical missteps in relations to this idea of growing your business through your team, okay? And then I'm going to be talking through an illustration. Again, because I am camping, I did this beautiful illustration for you. This is probably good because I'm pretty extra and I would have made something pretty for you on the computer, so it's probably a good thing. But I'm going to take you through that illustration to kind of show you visually what I'm talking about and why this is important. Okay. So some typical missteps through growing your business through your team is one, using your GWV and your group size as a measurement of your success. Those things are super cool and super fancy and super fun, but they are not always relative to your paycheck, to your success, okay? There are SSDs that are doing $1 million in GWV that could make less than people that are doing $500,000 in GWV, okay? That is not relative always to your success. And I think early on, especially, that's what you were looking at. You're like, ooh, we compared team size or group size. And I remember early on as a director thinking, oh my gosh, they have $1 million in sales, they must be making $1 million, you know, and it's not that way. And hopefully some of you that are a little further along in your journey know that by now. And we're going to show you in this illustration exactly why that's not the case. Okay, number two is you hear all the time to put your time into those who want it, to put your time into those on fire. But what happens is that when you do that, sometimes you can lose sight of your team. And even more, you can lose sight and of those that are on your team that could also have that fire for success that you just haven't told them that yet, okay? Number three is feeling guilty. Allergy medicine, guys. Feeling guilty for focusing on your paid generations. One of my pet peeves is hearing people say that, well, you're being paid off of me or whatnot. And that got to me because I didn't want people to ever feel that way. But as a leader, it's now your job to also be the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer of your business. And when you do that, it's really important to understand what the return on investment is for the people that you are pouring into. And we're, again, going to use that illustration to explain that a little bit more. So again, you do not, if you feel that guilt, you do not get paid off of people. Cincy appropriately compensates you for the things that they do not have to do, like have a retail space, do one-on-one coaching, do team trainings, have a team page, even do some of the corporate training that we chip in on, okay? You are not getting paid off those people. You are earning that pay, promise. Okay, a couple others that I added just on the fly is trying to answer everything and be everything on your team pages. Now that you're a director, you have to let other directors emerge. And you're not going to know who those emerging leaders are other than looking at your stats in your workstation unless you let other people rise up. And sometimes the people that are almost a little annoying because, you know, those people that want to like answer things as fast as possible, sometimes those are going to be your next directors. The people that are showing up, that are living in that space, that are pouring into that space, that are reading everything, those are some of your emerging leaders. So you have to bite your tongue a little bit. You have to step back. And I know it's hard not to answer all the things, but you have to let other people do that as well. And then another one that I added on the fly is, you hear a lot, I mean, April talked about it, not comparing yourself to other consultants, but I want to take it a step further because I think a lot of times what we do, especially with like the share page, is we're not comparing ourselves to one person. What we've done is we've created this bionic consultant that is made up of the best of all of the consultants. So instead of just this person that's really awesome at Happy Mail, or this person that created a really incredible system, or this person that does amazing on coaching calls or whatever, we've now made this person's bionic consultant all of these things. And that's what we're comparing ourselves to. And that is impossible. I think comparison with people that are doing great can be a good thing. It can be a motivational thing. It's what I talked about at the beginning of this call, surrounding yourself with people that are better than you. That's what Tony Robbins, he teaches that. You are the product of the 5 people that you hang around with. And if you are the best of that group that you're in, get a new group. Okay. All right. So don't compare yourself to the bionic consultant. Okay, so I want to show you this sort of illustration. Again, it is total chicken scratch. It's not something I would normally do if I wasn't in a camper. It's so hard. It's gonna be so hard to see this, but this is going to be you up here. Okay, this is your first director. That's your first generation director. When they get their first director, that's a second generation director to you. When they get theirs, that's a third generation director to you. When they get theirs, that's a fourth generation, and etc. Again, this could feel elementary, but I have a point to it, and it's going to make some sense why I'm telling you all of this. Okay? So as a director, you get paid on this, you get paid on the first gen. And then as a star director, you're getting paid on your first generation and your second gen. And as a superstar director, the first 3 gens. So of course, you've got to be strategic on where you are pouring your time into. Now, of course, this 4th generation and 5th generation can roll up. And that's why it's important to still be present and pour into your group. But your priority is always 1, it's your personal sales. 2 is your team. And 3 then is your group. Okay. So on your team, you want to make sure that you are, again, identifying those emerging leaders. You're checking in on the active frontline. That's a really important indicator of your success. You want to be watching your team size. You want to be watching everything with your team, because what happens is that once you start growing, it becomes really exciting seeing your growth and seeing the people that are doing really well. But if you just focus on that, let me give you a scenario of what could happen. So you have this amazing person here that's become your first director, okay? So this is you just have 1 director so far. And then they promote out this 2nd generation, and then they promote out this 3rd generation. Well, all of a sudden you have a really big group, and it feels like, and it seems like you should be making a lot of money. But if you're not building wide and you only built deep, then you're only getting paid on your first generation. If you're still a director, you are not getting paid on all of these generations. And April talked about that being paid at title, and that's why that's so incredibly important. But taking that back around to the whole point of this call is if you're not focusing on your team and you're focusing on your group, what can happen is you can build these big bodybuilder legs, and maybe you've got 3 or 2 big bodybuilder legs, and then your team becomes sort of like a chicken leg, right? And if you have a chicken leg and you don't have anybody that's emerging out of that, then you don't have a chance to grow wide. And when you grow wide, let me kind of show you that little illustration. What can happen is you grow wide, you have your first generation director, and then they promote out a second, and then some third generations. And then when you're a superstar director, you're getting paid on all of these, and all of these, and all of these, and all of these, right? And you can see how that exponentially can grow. But again, if you're not growing that team, that is impossible for that to happen. Okay. And then one other thing I wanted to mention on that is that a lot of you are brand new directors. And so again, this is something that you might be like, I'm not to that point yet, but strategically, you've got to understand that now so that you know what your next step is to be able to strategically grow into superstar director, because it is not about GWV, is not about your group size anymore. So stop focusing on those things. As cool as they may seem, watch your team size. And sometimes whenever, if you are further along in your career, if you are a star director, if you're a superstar director and you haven't been doing this, then it takes a long time, just like anything, for you to realize the error of your ways. And all of a sudden you'll be like, whoa, I do have some bodybuilder legs and some a chicken leg over here. And so it takes a little while to circle back around. So knowing that now is really, really key. And then if you are a brand new director, your first step is going to be to build your next directors, right? So a rising tide lifts all boats. So it's also important that on that team, you're focusing on the people underneath those emerging leaders that can be their leads and their stars. Because those new directors that you want to promote out, they're going to promote out with leads and star consultants underneath them. So it's important to work on your team deep, because those people can roll up, and those people are also going to rise up the emerging leaders on your team. And that happens all the time. So that's the big gist of what I wanted to share with you today. So I hope that that helps you circle back around. If you're further along, I hope that at some point in your career, that is going to help you strategically be able to build and have more success. And really, the success is your paycheck. That's who you're working against. That's what you're working for. And Katie shared all those incredible numbers, and that can be you too. And you can get there faster and more. You can get to those numbers faster if you kind of follow this idea of what I'm talking about. Okay. Now I get the honor to introduce to you one of my great friends, Sarah Caceres. Sarah is a fellow military spouse, but also something super cool about Sarah is I remember a few years ago, maybe, who knows on time, she was going to be moving to Italy, and she was pretty concerned about this business, right? Like, how is this going to work moving overseas? But in true Sarah fashion, she not only made it happen, but she promoted a superstar director when in Italy. She's the first superstar director in Italy, and she has earned all of the top 100, top 150 trips that have been out there for her. She is an AMA and an ASA award earner. She's just all around incredible, and I think you guys are going to learn so much from her. So I am going to turn over the time to her. Thank you all so much, and I'll be around for the Q&A afterwards. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Kandi. I'm just going to preface this real quick. If you hear my voice crack, it doesn't matter how many times I do any sort of training, how small the group is, how large the group is, I get nervous. I know Steffi mentioned being a complete introvert, but I got you top, girlfriend. Like, it makes me so nervous. So if my voice cracks, just laugh with me. It's all good. I am so incredibly honored and excited just to talk to you guys. What I'm going to speak to you guys about, everyone ahead of me has mentioned reoccurring things, which again, you're going to hear some from me as well. But there's a reason for that. There is no secret to what we're sharing with you guys. It's success. We're successful in the fact that we keep it simple. Okay. It's not a secret. It's not rocket science. It's consistency, persistence, and patience. So if you're hearing things over and over again, that's why. And then what I am going to talk to you guys today about is self-care in your business. Everything that was shared today, it's all needed. It's all things that you should be doing. If you're not doing them yet, you're here today, which shows that you're motivated, you're accepting, you're open to being, you're open to trying new things, which is a really, really good thing to have in this business. But self-care has to come before all of that, because we cannot work if we are not our best selves. You cannot fill from an empty cup. And now more than ever, just with the world and life in general, it's really important to listen to both your body and your mind and your heart. And you just got to make sure you're pouring into yourself, personally, professionally, in all aspects. Okay. So whatever personal goals you have and whatever professional goals that you have, you need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. So I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, I have 5 points that I'm going to talk about, things that I do. As Kandi mentioned, I was overseas for 2 years. We just got back in November, thank goodness. But these are things that I started doing because I struggled a lot when we went over there, and I realized I was trying to do what everyone else was doing, and I needed to just start here and focus there first, and then I could pour out. So the first thing is start strong. And I don't mean starting strong with a long list of to-dos and your goals, even though I know those are very powerful and push you forward. My starting strong point means what you first do in the morning for yourself. Now, I had talked to Steffi, and I know Steffi's done some aha training moments about this. She is amazing at getting up early in the morning and just getting her own personal time in for whatever she wants to get done. For me, what that looks like is my cup of coffee. I gotta have my coffee in the morning. If you don't do coffee, do tea, water, get an 8-ounce glass of water, whatever you want to do. I make my bed. That is something that was instilled to me from my parents. I'm a Navy brat. Both of my parents always we made our beds, had me making my beds. I still do that today, make my bed. And then the next thing I come down to do is I listen to a podcast. I either go outside on the patio, the front porch, or I even just sit in the living room before the kids get up. If the kids are up before me, I go back to my room. I'll go back up in my room and sit in the rocker like an old lady. No shame in that. And listen to a 30-minute podcast. I'm going to talk more about what podcast I listen to towards the end of this to share with you. But that is something that gets my mind in the right place. It makes me ready to tackle whatever's thrown at me that day. And the last thing is put your phone away. I can't tell you enough how many times I would wake up in the morning, roll over, and just start scrolling. Okay, how many of you guys do that? Do you just wake up in the morning, you're like, let's see who's on, what Instagram stories do I want to see today? Who did what last night? Who's doing what today? Stop it. It is a black hole that you will not be able to pull yourself out of, and 30 minutes have gone by and you literally haven't even gotten up to pee yet. And I'm not kidding. If you're not doing that, good on you, but I was so guilty for doing that. And it's really hard when you're doing that you're comparing yourself to what you think you need to be doing because of what everyone else is doing. Stop it. Okay. I cannot encourage that enough. The next thing is movement. I am really big into exercise. That does not mean, when I talk to you guys about movement, it does not mean go get a membership at a gym. It doesn't mean you need to be burning 500 calories during a workout. It's something as simple as just getting up, taking a walk, go outside, get your blood moving. That's all that is. This is important for a couple reasons. Obviously, your health. Who does not feel good after you just got up and moved a little bit, right? Like the endorphins alone just make you feel good. But this is a time for you to, if you're not, actually working out and you want to take the route of just taking a walk, this is a good time for you to just be still in your mind. Okay. It's a time for you to be quiet. Use this time to hear the silence. And what I mean by that is there's just so much noise in our business right now, but all the time. But especially right now, because our summertime feels like we're in the middle of a fall catalog season. So there is just nonstop things coming at you, questions, concerns, worries, about products and statuses and who's promoting and who's doing this or who's not doing that or who's not following the coaching calls that you are doing with them, whatever it may be. Take this time for whatever your movement is to just get your blood flowing and be still. There's nothing wrong with being quiet within yourself. I struggled with that for a long time because when I was still, my mind would wander and pace. And that's where I really started finding the podcasts. I keep talking about that because they're very powerful. The next thing is go at your own pace. Limiting your comparisons to others is crucial. We've all said it. You do not need to be doing what everybody else is doing, but I'm gonna say that one more time. Limiting your comparisons to others is crucial. It is so important to remember that just because someone else is doing something, they're talking about on social media how many miles they ran, how many loaves of bread they made during quarantine. Girl, yeah, I am not a Pinterest mom, so I had to get away from what all the other moms I follow were doing. For homeschooling, I had to just completely go. I couldn't compare to any of that. How many Zoom meetings are being held that they're attending, what bags they've purchased, all of that productivity or all of that stuff that they're showing, the productivity alone does not always equate to a healthy mindset. They're showing you what they want you to see. The grass is not always greener, okay? So don't compare. Everyone is facing their own unique set of circumstances. So no matter what that is for you, there's no reason you should always be on as well. So if you're seeing all these other leaders doing these Zoom calls and these trainings and just watching some of that sometimes is exhausting, okay? I don't want you guys to always feel like you have to be on. Now, does that mean you should not be showing up? Absolutely not. I am not saying that. But you've got to give yourself you time, all right? I lost track of my notes. Don't let someone else's perceptions of what it means to be productive influence in how you see yourself. It's just comparison is the thief of joy, guys. You are your own authentic self, and nobody does you better than you. Nobody. So just do you, and do you the best that you can. And what doesn't work, I know I was looking at the comments earlier when we were talking about coaching calls and things like that. Some of you guys have shared that you haven't started them yet, or you shared that you started them, but it wasn't working properly. Who cares? You're starting it. That is important. That is the crucial part. You will find what works for you and what doesn't work for you. I mean, there's so many different ways, things I can go into there. I'm going to try and stay focused, but you're going to pull ideas from other people, and that's fantastic. But don't try to recreate what they're doing. Use it as a template and make it your own. Okay, just please. I can't stress that enough. The next thing, just two more. I'm going to set boundaries. Burnout is real, you guys. If it is left unchecked, if it is left ignored, it will drain every bit of enjoyment from even the fun stuff of your business. It truly will. And I know right now it's busy. It's really busy. And it's a good thing. It is a good problem to have. But if you're not careful, you will burn out. You're going to get tired. All of your joy is going to go away. And then you're going to wonder, why the hell am I even still doing this? So something that I've done to help with setting boundaries and preventing burnout is you need to have working hours. Okay. I set boundaries, or I set times during the morning. My morning is when I am the most productive. I have always been that way. When I was in Italy, I struggled with that. My busy working hours actually had to be at night because I was 6 to 7 hours ahead of everybody, just depending on when it was. So choose what works best for you. You do not have to be a morning person. If you thrive better at night and you work better from like after dinner time to like 11 o'clock at night, then you do that. Do it when it fits you, but make sure you have boundaries on, and make sure you know this, and make sure your team knows this. You cannot be available 100% of the time. Absolutely cannot. You don't need to be holding hands. You do not need to be in your phone as soon as somebody asks you a question. Absolutely not. I give 24 hours until I respond to somebody. It's not being rude. It's personal respect for yourself, and it's business for them. They need to see that you are treating your business like a business so that not only they respect it, but they learn that habit as well. I'm talking about other leaders. I'm talking about your frontline and your downline, everybody. They need to see what you're doing is creating a long-lasting habit for a successful business. If you're not doing that now, it's going to be rough later. And I have learned that from experience, guys. So just please set boundaries for yourself. Now, the last thing I want to touch on is just a playlist or a podcast. If you're anything like I am, music is a great background noise, but it offers the chance to reflect in your current mood. I am very emotional. I feel all the feels all the time, whether I'm angry, mad, upset. It's just, I feel it 100%. So music hits me in a personal level, and it allows me to bring myself back down to whatever I'm feeling. But the thing with music for me that I found out when I was taking just a little bit of time away and needing that space is sometimes I wouldn't be able to focus on what I needed to focus on. It would sometimes make me feel a little worse because, like I said, I feel all the feels. So I was introduced to podcasts about 2 years ago, and I have 3 favorite ones that I'm going to share with you guys. One of them I'm pretty sure you're very familiar with. But podcast episodes offer the opportunity to learn more virtually about any topic anywhere in the world. It can help you self-reflect. It can help in a health journey, mental journey. It can help in your business. In every aspect, podcasts are a positive thing. So if you find music distracting while you're trying to work, try doing these podcasts. Now I have them here, and I want to read them off to you guys. So, and I will share this later if you guys actually want to see what they are. But my number one is Lori Harder, and it's Earn Your Happy. This girl's podcast, so she was a professional bikini body, I don't know. She did bikini competitions, and she was always the winner of them. And she ended up needing to find something more fulfilling for her because that was very superficial, and she just wasn't feeling it in here. So she started this podcast called Earn Your Happy, and she brings entrepreneurs in, moms in, all kinds of different other people in to talk to her. And she talks about business, life, setting goals, expectations, fear, everything. Like, she is incredible. I love her. The next one is Raising the Bar with Allie and Michael. It's a husband and wife duo. The other one is Gold Digger by Jenna Kutcher. I actually stumbled upon her on Instagram. I'm a big Instagram girl. I love Instagram. I found her podcast through a hashtag, and I've been hooked ever since. And again, the other one, Trent Shelton, I've been listening to him for about 1.5 years now, and I know he had a big boom in the Cincy consultants about probably 6 or 7 months ago. But so Earn Your Happy, Raising the Bar, Gold Digger, and Straight Up with Trent Shelton. Those are the 4 that I love and I listen to a lot for business and personal. So I think that you would find value in all of that. So I am going to end it at that. I know it wasn't like super nitty gritty, but I do feel like your mental health and filling your cup, it's all just as crucial for a healthy business as all of these other amazing things that everybody has shared with us today. And now I have the honor of introducing Jennifer Anderson, Queen JA. She is a boss. She is someone that I look up to very highly and have for a long time. She's gone through a few moves, just recently moved into her new house, which is exciting. I've been following along with that. She's had Riley along her journey, so she knows all about just getting shit done, even when it's hard, because it is hard. She's a top earner of AMA, ASA, top 100, all that good stuff. She's got a group of 2,471, 45 directors, SD and SSD, which is pretty freaking amazing. So Jen, I'm going to pass it over to you, girlfriend.
Thank you so much, Sarah. That was so sweet. My husband is like trying to call me. So I'm like, look, bro, I'm busy. Thank you so much. I am super honored to be here today. And I just want to echo everything all the other girls said, how valuable it is to have a tribe and how valuable it is to have people in your corner, people that you can turn to, how much value they add to your business and to your life. And I echo everything all the other girls said, like this group of women, you know, we've all kind of done it together and grown together, and it's been really cool to be a part of this little tribe. So I really, really encourage you to find a tribe of people that vibe at the same level that you vibe at. And that's really important. I need you to know that if you have people in your life that you feel like you have outgrown, or you are growing at a faster rate than they are, or you're vibing in a different place than they are, it's okay to let them go. All right? It's okay to let them go. And it's okay to say, you know what? I'm just vibing at this level now. And that doesn't mean anything is wrong with this person, or that they're not as good as you or cool as you or whatever, but they're not in the same space as you. They're not chasing the same goals as you are. They're not running like you're running. And so it's okay to let them go and find people that you're vibing at the same level at, or find people that are vibing even higher than you, that motivate you and encourage you and inspire you. And I saw someone say something the other day, and I posted it in our Radiant Rockstars director group. So if you guys are on here, you probably have seen that. But it was, I think April posted it, and she was like, it was a quote that said something like, hang out with a group of people that are so freaking awesome that they make you feel like a loser if you're not crushing it. And I was like, I mean, kind of, yeah. You know, you have to hang out with people who make you feel like you're a loser. And that's not to say like, oh my gosh, like compare your journey. You know, I hope you get what I'm trying to say. This does not say compare yourself or feel like poop or never feel good enough. That's not what I'm saying. But surround yourself with people who make you level up. So, and you know what? I took some notes and like things that I wanted to kind of hammer home today, but look, the reality is you might be on this call, whether you're a brand new director, you're a seasoned director, star director, aiming for SSD, on your way, you've been in this business for years or a couple of weeks, whatever. Like you might be on here today and be like, oh my gosh, like 2,000 PRV a month and 2 recruits every single month. Really? Do they even know my life? Yeah, we know your life because we've been there. We are there. We do it. We've been there. Look, we're asking you to level up. It's that simple. This is director boot camp. This is not, you're here, I'm going to make you feel good, tell you you're awesome, give you a certificate of participation. Like, I don't roll like that. I don't shout out people who are active. I don't send happy mail for people getting 500 PRV. I'm asking you to level up. I'm asking you to go harder. I'm asking you to push yourself. I'm asking you to do more than you think you're capable of. And I'm asking you to prove it to yourself that you can do more than you're giving yourself credit for, because once you prove it to yourself, you're like, oh my God, I actually can do this. And you're going to repeat those behaviors again and again and again and again. And that's how you get to SSD, which, guys, if you haven't heard lately, that's where the money is. That's where the money is. Now, don't get me wrong. You might be a director, a star director making $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 a month. And I'm not telling you that that's not life-changing income for you. But why stop there when you can make 10K, 15K, 20K a month, no problem. And then there are people making a hell of a lot more money than me, making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month. Totally a thing. Totally a thing. Newsflash, SSD is where the money is. So I'm not saying money is your goal. I'm not saying SSD is your goal, but money gives you freedom. Money gives you choices. Money gives you the opportunity to say yes instead of saying no. How many things have you ever had to say no to in your life because you couldn't afford it, or it wasn't in the budget, or your credit card was maxed out and so you couldn't put more on your card, right? That's not the life that you're called to live. That is not the life that you want. I know it's not. because that's how most of the world lives. And you're not most of the world. And neither am I. When I started Scentsy, I was $30,000 in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, working 80 hours a week. Literally, that was my life, okay? And I want you to know that I don't act like I don't know what hustle is, because I know what hustle is. Don't act like I don't know how to work, because that's all I do is work. But I worked my booty off to build this business to what it is now so that I can have freedom. And if I didn't work so hard for the last 8-9 years, I wouldn't be able to have the freedom that I have now. I wouldn't be able to be present with my daughter. I wouldn't have just built our dream home. We wouldn't have retired my husband from his 6-figure corporate America career. Legit. He's done. He's 37. He don't work no more. We always make jokes. I'm like, you don't got to go work tomorrow. We make jokes all the time. I'm like, what are you doing? You don't got to go work tomorrow. You don't got no one telling you what to do. But it's like, it's actual reality. And so I need you to hear something. Before Scentsy, and I've actually had a couple of coaching calls this week where we talked about this. Before Scentsy, I thought the way to get ahead and the way to live was just to work and work and work and work and work. Before Scentsy, I don't even remember a time where I had only one job. I had a full-time job and then a part-time job, and then I'd pick up like a bartending gig here or a waitressing gig here or a nannying gig here, or I'd clean a house. Trust your girl. Okay? I worked 80 to 90 hours a week, and I thought, because this is what I was taught, and probably most of you have also been taught this in your life, that the only way to get ahead is to work and find a job, and that's secure, and someone else pays your paycheck, and you fluff up your 401k, and that's how you get ahead. Well, I'm here to tell you that there's another way to live. I'm here to tell you that you can break the mold. I'm here to tell you that everyone else in the world thinks that way. And so they will spend the rest of their life working 80 to 90 hours a week, working for someone else signing their paycheck, having to ask for time off. And you guys, that's not freedom. I hate to tell you, that's not freedom. When you have to ask your boss to go to the bathroom, or ask your boss for time off, or ask your boss if you can take your kid to the doctor, or ask your boss if you can have a day off to get your hair cut, like, that's not freedom. So what you need to do right here is see, what kind of life do I really want to live? What kind of life do I really want to lead? Like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Is there another option? The answer is yes, there is another option. There is another way. And you have the vehicle in your Scentsy business to get you that other way, to get you the life that you want, to get you freedom. And that's really what we do, you guys. That's really what we do. We deal hope. We build hope for ourselves. We build a life of freedom for ourselves, but we also build hope for others. And that's really the core of building a big, huge, successful business that pays you big long-term, is freaking helping others find whatever it is that they want to find through Scentsy. Whether it's confidence, whether it's encouragement, financial freedom. There's so many different things that you can find in this business, and for every person it's different. And that's something I really want to hit home today too, is that just like we encourage you to be authentic, and we encourage you to do you, self-care, roll the way you want to roll. Listen, this is a huge mistake I see leaders make, is that they try to force their ideas, goals, visions, even just like general ethos or way they work on their team. And that never works good for anyone. You have to respect each individual team member and what they want to get out of this business. You have to respect it. Even if they look different from you, or even if their end goal is the same as yours, but they go about it in a completely different way, in a way that you would never do in a million years, because you know your way is best. Dude, you have to let them do it the way that they want to do it. You have to let them find success the way that they want to find success. Because I'm not going to tell you to be a carbon copy of me and do everything that I did to find success in my business, because that's not fair. It's not fair of me to do that for you. Also, we're not out to make carbon copies of ourselves. We're out to encourage people to be their true selves and find who they really are and be comfortable being that authentic person 100% of the time. And when I say we deal hope, yes, we deal hope in finances, but we also deal hope in that way, where we help people find who they really are, what's really important to them, and give them the confidence to be that 100% of the time, no matter who they're around or what they look like or where they were born or their sex or their name or this color of their skin. It's about giving people confidence and hope to be truly them all the time. Mindset matters. Your mindset matters. I always, always, always say, if you've ever watched any training from me, at some point you've probably heard me say, every battle you ever face is won or lost in your mind. Every battle you ever face is won or lost in your mind. You either win it here or you lose it here every time. And you win it here or lose it here before you even meet the battle every time. Your mindset matters. Nicole Richardson in the comments earlier, someone was talking about mindset and how you telling yourself you can't do 2000 PRV, that's the problem right there. But Nicole Richardson said her dad taught her, can't means you don't want to. And I was like, hell yeah. So I wrote that shit down. I was like, I need you guys to hear that. Can't means you don't want to. I'm asking you to level up, okay? I'm asking you to go harder. I'm asking you to do more. Here's the thing, you're capable. You have all the tools that you need to be successful. Don't tell me you don't know how to do something, because if you don't, there's a resource out there to teach you how. Don't tell me you don't know how to do something, or you have a kid, or you're sick, or you don't have a spouse, or you do have a spouse, or you are moving, or so what? You and everyone else in the world, you and everyone else in this room, you and everyone else who's ever been successful. If you think building a successful business comes easy, you're wrong. That's where the mindset matters too. Any person who has ever found success in life or in business has done so while encountering incredible hardship and overcoming incredible hardship in some way, shape, or form. You have everything that you need to be successful. This is what it is. You have all the tools. They're sitting in your tool belt. You have to take them out of your tool belt and put them to work. It's that simple. Take your tools out of your belt and put them to work. Stop letting them sit in your belt. They're doing you no good. Not going to do you any good to watch another training on a system that you already know how to do. It's not going to do you any good to watch another training on recruiting. You know how to recruit. Take your tools out of your belt and get to work. I'm asking you to level up. Because I know that by you leveling up, you're going to get everything you want out of this business. I know that when you level up and you go hard and you do 2000 PRV and you recruit to a month, and that's at a minimum, when you do that, you're going to get to SSD. You're going to get to that life-changing income. You're going to get to freedom. And honestly, it's not even just about you. You're going to help others do the same thing. This is about impact. Being a leader in Sensi is about impact and how you can impact the lives of others for good. You helping other people naturally grows your business. Your business succeeding is a byproduct of you helping other people. Your business growing and flourishing and you finding freedom is a natural result of you being focused on other people and serving others. If you're a new leader or if you're a seasoned leader, hear me and hear me really clearly. Drill this into your brain and don't forget it. Leadership is servanthood. Leadership is servanthood. It is not a title. It is not a pedestal. It is not, look, I get it. You're a director. You're proud. You're a star director. You're proud. You're an SSD. I mean, dude, wear the shirts. You earned it. Go for it. Roll with it. But hear me. It's servanthood. It's actually preferring other people over yourself. It's actually choosing to serve the needs of others rather than your own. But I promise you that when you do that, your needs and your wants and your desires, they all get fulfilled. It's a natural byproduct of serving other people. Leadership is servanthood. Let your team fly. We must respect our team's individuality, their goals, their work ethic, and the way that they want to work. Like I said earlier, even if the way that they want to get to a goal is different than maybe you would do it, or what you think, or the way that you saw someone else who's successful do it, you got to let them do it, man. Let them do it. You must empower your team. You're not their boss. You're not their manager. You're not their mom. You don't want them to be little yous. You want them to be successful, happy, independent, confident thems. Because when that happens, then you have independent, confident, successful leaders who build their own businesses, which in turn builds your business, FYI. But then they repeat that and they go help other people build independent, confident, successful businesses, which just multiplies and multiplies and multiplies your organization. And take it from me, because my organization is freaking giant now at this point. And it's, I mean, I know it's small compared to even some of the other, but like, dude, I think it's giant. And like, it's because our leaders are all independent, successful people who have been encouraged to be independent, successful people in their own right. And it's because we empower them to go do them. Okay? While you're going and doing you, it's important as a leader that you're willing to try everything so that you can coach and mentor all different kinds of people on your team. If you only have one specialty or one way that you want to roll, you're like, look, I'm just an online person. I'm not doing any home parties. I'm not doing any events. I'm not doing any fundraisers. I just want to work online. In fact, I just want to work on Instagram. And someone from your team comes to you with a question on a home party and you can't identify with them or help them or coach them because you're so stuck in your own ways that you only want to do Instagram. That's no good as a leader. It's okay to have a specialty, but you must be willing to try all the things and become versed in all the things so that you can help in all of the things. It's not even about you doing it. It's about you helping other people be successful there. I'm going to leave you with this. It won't always be fun. You hear me? It won't always be fun. There are times in your business that like you have to do something that's hard, or you have to do something that you don't want to do or that doesn't come naturally to you. Do you know what that's called? That's called leveling up. That's called being a boss. That's called being a business owner. That's called being an adult. We have to do things we don't want to do all the time. Just because something isn't fun or it's hard doesn't mean it's not for you. We have to do things in our business all the time that's hard. We just had Rockstar Rally a couple nights ago about getting out of your comfort zone. What is your comfort zone? How it's good for you, but then how it's really bad for you. We make excuses and say like, oh, that's not natural for me, or this is really uncomfortable for me, so I'm not going to do it in the name of authenticity. Guys, just because it's hard doesn't mean it's not for you. You have to do hard things. You have to be an adult. That's how you build a big business. That's how you make lots of money. That's how you find freedom. That's how you help others find freedom. You have to do things that are uncomfortable. You have to do things that scare you. You have to do things that like give you a pit in your stomach and like make you nervous. You have to do things that are maybe like begrudging, that you don't feel like doing. If you're like, I hate doing team mail, well, suck it up, Buttercup, do some team mail. They like to get that in the mail. If you're like, I don't want to do whiff boxes, well, they're not for me, and like you're having a really hard time getting PRV, but your customers might be into whiff boxes, try the damn whiff boxes. If you can't get to 2,000 PRV and you're not willing to try whiff boxes or a fundraiser or something else to get there, like, suck it up, Buttercup. Let's go. Do the things that are hard. Because I promise you, oh man, do I promise you that the rewards far outweigh the effort that you put in. They far outweigh the effort. That doesn't mean that you won't cry sometimes. That doesn't mean your feelings won't get hurt. That doesn't mean you won't be exhausted or frustrated. All of these things are a natural part of leadership. If you encounter a bump in the road or an uphill battle or something, you just can't figure it out, know that that's part of the journey. That doesn't mean it's time to quit. That doesn't mean you give up. That doesn't mean you go look for something else. That doesn't mean something is wrong with your sponsor or your upline or your downline or your team sucks. It doesn't mean any of those things. It's all part of the natural ebb and flow of this business. This is how you build a big business. And I'm so glad Sarah just talked about boundaries and self-care, because that is the foundation on which you build a big business. You can't ignore it. And you can't forget about boundaries, and you can't forget to take care of yourself, and you can't forget to do things that are good for you, like move your body, drink water, sleep. Fill your heart and your mind with good things like podcasts and books. Find a tribe of people that make you better. Is it quiet time? Is it devotions? Is it meditation? Is it yoga? You got to do all these things. That's the foundation on which you build your business. You can't skip it. And I know if any of you are a mama, mamas tend to skip that real easy. You put yourself last. like I said, leadership is servanthood. It's really important that you do put yourself last when it comes to leadership and you serve other people, but you can't serve and put yourself last if you aren't taking care of yourself. Trust me. Trust me, trust Jennifer. I always say that. Trust Jennifer. Because I've been there, I've done it. If you think I haven't encountered something you've encountered, I promise I have. We all have. Someone on this call has. You're not alone. Like, you're not the first person to try to build a business. Let's go. Level up. Don't be afraid of the hard things. Embrace adversity. It makes you better. That's it. Let's go. Mindset matters. Let's go.
That was amazing, Jen. Amazing. I knew she would be the perfect person to finish this off. I mean, what an incredible lineup of content that we had today from everybody. Everybody brought some amazing, amazing content. And I hope that y'all took lots of notes, but don't worry, we did record it. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now, and then we'll just open things up briefly for Q&A. I know it's already 1 o'clock. So I'm going to end the recording now, and then we will just do a few minutes, maybe take 2 questions or so. So let me go ahead and do that now.